Now, the mucous membrane or the mucosa of the vas deferens forms low longitudinal folds. It is lined by pseudostratified columnar epithelium. So the important thing in this to remember is that the mucous lining of vas deferens is lined with pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Similar to the epididymis cells, they have strong stereocilia, long stereocilia. Okay, we have already dealt with epididymis, and we have seen that they are having stereocilia in it. So just like that of epididymis, the vas deferens is also having stereocilia, and the lamina propria of the vas deferens is rich in elastic fibers. So two things we have to remember, that the epithelial lining is made up of pseudostratified columnar epithelium, and lamina propria consists of elastic fibers. The muscularis, that means the uh, lamina muscularis, is well developed, up to 1.5 millimeter thick, and consists of a thick circular layer of smooth muscle between the inner and outer longitudinal layers. Okay, so the tunica muscularis is thick and consists of an inner longitudinal and an outer circular layer, and in between the inner longitudinal and outer circular layer is a thick circular layer of smooth muscles. The tunica muscularis is the structure which makes the vas deferens palpable in the spermatic cord. So often when people ask that how can we palpate the vas deferens, or which structure in the spermatic cord is palpable. So the structure, the content, there are so many contents of spermatic cord, that is like vas deferens, spermatic artery, spermatic vein, and cremaster muscles. You will all study these in when you will be taught about the gross anatomy of the spermatic cord. So out of several contents of the spermatic cord, the palpable structure is vas deferens. Why? Because of the presence of inner inner circular and outer longitudinal layer of smooth muscles of tunica muscularis of vas deferens. So the vas deferens can be palpated because of the presence of well-defined tunica muscularis. The vas deferens is surrounded by an adventitia, which is slightly denser than usual. Now you see, this is the structure of vas deferens. Okay, so this is the duct. This is the duct of vas deferens. They are surrounded by epithelium, and these are the longitudinal and smooth muscles. Okay, we have seen that the epithelium lining is made up of pseudostratified columnar epithelium. So in the later slide, you will see the columnar epithelium surrounding these ducts. And these all structures which are outside, they are either longitudinally arranged smooth muscles or circularly arranged smooth muscles. In the last class, I have told how to identify whether it is longitudinal or smooth. If it is longitudinal, it will be having box-like appearance. If it is smooth, it will be having. If it is circular, it will be having just plain arrangement. Okay, so this is the structure of vas deferens. You can see this is a duct of vas deferens. This duct is surrounded by epithelium, pseudostratified columnar epithelium, and the entire rest structure, they have well-developed tunica muscularis. You can see the most of this part is surrounded by tunica muscularis, and this tunica muscularis makes the vas deferens palpable in the spermatic cord. This has got well-developed tunica muscularis. Now you see, this is the magnified view. Okay, so the lining, this is the cavity of the vas deferens, the white portion. The white portion which where I am putting this arrow is the cavity of the vas deferens, and this cavity is lined by epithelium that is known as pseudostratified columnar epithelium. You can see this is the column shape pseudostratified columnar epithelium. And just on the apex of this pseudostratified columnar epithelium, there are stereocilia or fine hairs which are facing towards the cavity. Fine hairs which are facing towards the cavity, that is known as stereocilia. So this stereocilia is situated at the apex of pseudostratified columnar epithelium. And these pseudostratified columnar epithelium are resting on cells which are known as this basal cells. You can see the small pinkish structure. These are the basal cells on which this pseudostratified columnar epithelium is resting. Okay, and outside this is the lamina propria, and outside this lamina propria will be the smooth muscles. Okay, so this is the white structure is the cavity of the vas deferens. This cavity, the part which is facing towards the cavity is the stereocilia. Just beneath the stereocilia is the pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Beneath this pseudostratified columnar epithelium is the basal cells, and beneath the basal cells is the lamina propria, and beneath the lamina propria will be well defined smooth muscles. Okay, so now we'll move on to the prostate gland. The prostate gland is the largest accessory sex gland. Okay, it is the largest accessory sex gland, and since it is a gland, so it may be either alveolar or straight or coiled, like that of the kidney, pancreas, and sweat gland, sebaceous gland. Okay, so it is a tubulo-alveolar sex gland. Prostate gland is a tubulo-alveolar sex gland. You should remember this because in questions I have seen many times that the prostate gland, uh, identify the structure of a prostate gland. What type of gland is it? So it is a tubulo-alveolar gland. Tubulo-alveolar gland, which empties into 15 to 25 independent excretory ducts, and these ducts open into the urethra. So when we say that prostate gland is a tubulo-alveolar gland, that means the duct system is it is a tubulo-alveolar gland. That means the duct system is branched, and the contents of this prostate gland or the secretion of this prostate gland is stored in a sac-like structure known as alveoli. And from this sac-like structure, numerous ducts open, and these ducts finally opens or excludes its contents into the urethra. The glands are embedded in a fibromuscular stroma, which mainly consists of smooth muscle separated by strands of connective tissue, which is rich in collagenous and elastic fibers. So this prostate gland is surrounded by a fibromuscular structure or fibromuscular structure. Okay, and the muscles which surround this prostate gland is mainly the smooth muscles, and these smooth muscles consist of collagen and elastic fibers. So the prostate gland is surrounded by a fibromuscular structure. The fibrous part is the collagenous and elastic fibers, and the muscular part is the smooth muscle. The muscle forms a dense mass around the urethra and beneath the fairly thin capsule of the prostate. So this smooth muscle covers all around the prostate glands, and it also covers the urethra where the glands from the prostate opens. The secretory alveoli of the prostate are very irregularly shaped because of papillary projections of the mucus into the lumen of the gland. So as we have already discussed, that prostate is a type of tubulo-alveolar gland. It's a type of tubulo-alveolar glands, and the contents of this prostate gland are stored in these small alveoli. When these alveoli contracts, the contents excludes through the ducts into the urethra. The epithelium is cuboidal or columnar. So the lining epithelium of the prostate gland is either cuboidal or columnar. Basal cells, just like that of the vas deferens is also present here. We have seen in the structures of the vas deferens that the pseudostratified columnar epithelium were resting over the basal cells. Similarly, in case of prostate gland, the cuboidal epithelium or the columnar epithelium, they rest over the basal cells. And the epithelium may look pseudostratified when they are found. Okay, so this cuboidal or columnar epithelium, they may appear as pseudostratified because since they are resting on the basal cells. The secretory cells are slightly acidophilic. The secretory cells are slightly acidophilic and secretory granules may be visible in the cytoplasm. So the secretion of this prostate gland, the nature of the secretion of this prostate gland is slightly acidophilic. And the secretory granules may be visible in the cytoplasm. When we see the cytoplasmic structure, the entire cytoplasm is covered with some secretory granules, which will be visible when you view under a microscope. So the nature of the secretion of prostate gland is acidophilic. Small extensions of the apical cytoplasm into the lumen of the alveoli may represent cells which release their secretory products, secretin. Okay, so small extensions of apical cytoplasm. The apical part of the cytoplasm shows some outgrowths or extensions, okay, through which the secretory products are released. So when we see these extensions on the apical cytoplasm, we can identify whether what type of nature of secretion it is. We have already discussed about what is apocrine mode of secretion, what is merocrine mode of secretion. We have already discussed in the previous class. So the nature of secretion of prostate gland, it may be either apocrine or merocrine. Apocrine means a small cytoplasmic content comes out, and merocrine means along with the secretion some cytoplasmic contents also comes out, that is merocrine. And apocrine, only the secretion comes out but not the cytoplasmic contents. And holocrine means the entire secretion plus the cytoplasmic contents comes out. The secretion of the prostate contains citric acid, the enzymes fibrinolysin. So these are some of the parts which are mainly concerned with the physiological part. But just I have mentioned here that what are the contents or the secretion of the prostate gland. The secretion of the prostate glands are mainly the citric acid, the enzyme fibrinolysin, okay, and phosphatase, a number of other enzymes and lipids. So the secretory part of the prostate gland consists of enzymes, lipids, phosphatase, and fibrinolysin. The secretion of the prostate is the first fraction of the ejaculate. So during ejaculation of semen from the penis, the first part which forms the fluid of these contents of the semen, it comes from the prostate gland. Okay, so the prostate gland is the first to contribute its secretion during ejaculation. Now this is the structure of prostate gland. We have already described that it is tubuloalveolar gland. So you can see these small structures, they are alveoli. They are all alveoli. This bluish part situated inside the whitish part is alveoli. These are small alveoli. And these are the fibromuscular part. Fibromuscular means the fibrous part consists of elastic and collagen fibers, and the muscular part consists of smooth muscle. So these all pink part consists of fibromuscular part. That means fibrous part is elastic and collagen, and muscular part is smooth muscle. And all these areas, whitish area, consist of small rounded violet color structures. They are the alveoli. The secretory ducts of the prostate are lined by simple columnar epithelium. Okay, so the duct of the prostate is lined by simple columnar epithelium, which changes to a transitional epithelium near the openings of the duct into the urethra. So the ducts which carry the secretion of the prostate gland into the urethra is originally or at its origin is lined by simple columnar epithelia. But near the point of its termination, that is near the points of its opening into the urethra, it is lined with transitional epithelia. A characteristic feature of the prostate is the appearance of corpora amylaceae. Is the appearance of corpora amylaceae in the secretory alveoli. They are rounded eosinophilic bodies. So in the next slide, I will show you what is corpora amylaceae. So corpora amylaceae is nothing, but it is present in the prostate gland. It is present in the prostate gland in the alveoli. They are rounded eosinophilic bodies. So if the question comes, where is corpora amylaceae found? So corpora amylaceae is found in the alveoli of the prostate glands. They are eosinophilic in character. To just write only two lines, they are found in the alveoli of the prostate gland and are eosinophilic bodies or eosinophilic in character. Macroscopically, the prostate gland can be divided into lobes, but they are inconspicuous in histological sections. That means these lobes cannot be easily distinguished. These prostate gland, they consist of small lobes, but these lobes are not clearly demarcated from each other. So it is written they are inconspicuous. In good histological sections, it is possible to distinguish these concentric zones which surround the prostatic part of the urethra. Okay, so the prostate gland consists of small lobes, but these lobes, as in case of liver and other organs which are clearly demarcated, it is not clearly demarcated in case of prostate gland. But when we have some good sections and those sections are near to the urethra, then we can see this demarcation of the lobes in the prostate gland. The peripheral zone contains large so-called main glands whose ducts run posteriorly to open into the urethra. Okay, so the ducts from these prostate glands, they open into the urethra. Nothing much more in this line. The internal zone consists of so-called submucosal glands, whereas the innermost zone contains mucous glands. Okay, so the innermost zone of the prostate gland consists of mucous glands, and the internal zone, that means which is above the innermost zone, it consists of submucosal glands. Okay, so submucosal glands in case of prostate gland is present in the internal zone, whereas the mucous glands is present in the innermost zones. Okay, so these prostate glands, the lobes of these prostate glands are divided into zones: inner zone, innermost zones. Okay, so the innermost zone consists of mucosal glands, whereas the inner zones consist of, or internal zones consist of, submucosal glands. Now you see this is fibromuscular stroma. This is, we have already seen this slide. Now you see this is corpora amylaceae. This is corpora amylaceae. Okay, corpora amylaceae. So corpora, what is corpora amylaceae? So corpora amylaceae is nothing but it is present in the alveoli of prostate gland. It is present in the alveoli of prostate gland. Is it acidophilic in nature? So these are corpora amylaceae. When you see these structures, okay, this is the cavity. This is the cavity, and this cavity is surrounded by these structures, which are known as corpora amylaceae. So these corpora amylaceae are present in the alveoli of prostate gland, and it is acidophilic in nature. You just remember this word corpora amylaceae, where it is present. So it is present in the alveoli of prostate gland. Yes. Now you see this is the prostate gland. So you can see this is the pseudo stratified epithelium. Okay, this is the epithelium, and these are the basal cells. Okay, so this is columnar epithelium. These are the part where I am moving this cursor. This is columnar epithelium. This is the cavity. This white portion is the cavity of the prostate gland, or the duct, or the cavity of the duct of the prostate gland. Okay, this is the cavity of the duct of the prostate gland. This is columnar epithelium, and these are the basal cells. And these are the basal cells. So, anything you want to ask up to now? Anyone?
सर ये लोब का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं समझ में आया.
लोब का
कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं समझ में आया.
अच्छा, प्रोस्टेट ग्लैंड का. देखो, तो जैसे हम लोग लीवर में देखे थे, उसमें भी लोब्स था, है ना, हेक्सागोनल लोब्स था ना उसमें. इन केस ऑफ लीवर,
यस सर,
देयर वर हेक्सागोनल लोब्स. ठीक है. And the two hexagonal lobes were separated from each other by interlobular connective tissue. तो interlobular connective tissue अगर prominent होता है तो lobes का demarcation clear cut होता है, दिखाई पड़ता है कि हाँ ये lobes जो है, ये structure या ये organ जो है, देखो इतना lobes में बटा हुआ है. प्रोस्टेट ग्लैंड में क्या होता है कि ये भी लोब्स में बटा हुआ रहता है. ठीक है. ये भी अंगूर के गुच्छे की तरह होता है, लेकिन दो गुच्छा के बीच का जो डिमार्केशन है वो क्लियर कट इसमें नहीं पता चलता है. वो कहाँ पर चलता है पता? तो अगर यूरिथ्रा के ओपनिंग के पास का अगर हम सेक्शन लेंगे तो वहां पर ये दिखाई पड़ता है ठीक से. ठीक है. सेमाइनल वेसिकल्स. सेमाइनल वेसिकल्स डेवलप फ्रॉम द वास्ट डिफरेंस. एम्ब्रोलॉजिकली अगर हम देखेंगे तो सेमाइनल वेसिकल्स डेवलप फ्रॉम द वास्ट डिफरेंस. Their histological organization resembles to some extent that of vas differens. They are elongated sacs which taper where they unite with the vas differens. Okay, तो seminal vesicles का origin अगर embryologically देखा जाए तो they develop from the vas differens. Okay, और कोई इसमें important नहीं है. Each seminal vesicle consists of Each seminal vesicle consists of one coiling tube, and the lamina visible in sections of the seminal vesicle are in continuity with the intact organ. Okay. So these seminal vesicles, they are in form of coiled tube-like structure. They are in form of coiled tube-like structure, and the lamina, that is lamina propria of the seminal vesicles, is in contact with the epithelium. Okay. So seminal vesicles, they develop from vas differens. This is one point. The second point is the seminal vesicles, they have coiled tube-like structures, and the lamina propria are in continuous with the epithelium. The mucosa shows thin branched anastomosis pores. The structure of the epithelium is variable, appearing columnar or pseudostratified columnar. So the lining epithelium of seminal vesicles is either columnar or pseudostratified columnar. Seminal vesicles develop from vas differens, number one. Number two, the lamina propria is in continuous with the epithelium. Number three, the epithelium lining is made up of either columnar or pseudostratified columnar. The lamina propria is thin. Okay, it's all right. The muscularies consist of inner circular and outer longitudinal layer. ये तो सब में लगभग वही होता है. The secretory products of the columnar cell, which may be seen in the lumen of the seminal vesicles, is strongly acidophilic. It contains large amount of fructose, which the spermatozoa utilize as a source of energy. So in this slide, you have to remember that seminal vesicles, embryologically, they develop from vas differens. Their structure resembles like that of a coiled tube. The epithelium is made up of either columnar or pseudostratified columnar. The lamina propria is in continuous with the epithelium, and then the tunica muscularis and all, it is similar like that of other structures. And what does this seminal vesicle secrete? So this seminal vesicle secretes fructose, which provides as a source of energy to the spermatozoa. Now you see, this is seminal vesicles. So this is the epithelium, either columnar or pseudostratified columnar. Okay, we have seen here that it is either columnar or pseudostratified columnar. So this is the epithelium, which is either columnar or pseudostratified columnar. This is the lumen or the duct, and this is the muscularies. So seminal vesicles, it is a coiled duct-like structure. तो जब उसका क्रॉस सेक्शन काटेंगे हम तो एक कैविटी मिलेगा, तो वो कैविटी किसका होगा? डक्ट का कैविटी होगा. उस कैविटी के चारों बगल जो लाइनिंग होगा जिसको कहते हैं एपिथेलियम, दिस आइदर कोलुमनर और सूडोस्टेटिफाइड कोलुमनर, and below this will be the tunica muscularis, which is well developed in case of seminal vesicles. Now you see the next slide. You see, so this is the lumen, and this is pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Okay, so this is the lumen. जो भी ये पिंक स्ट्रक्चर है, you see this, ये lumen है, ये lumen है, ये lumen है. Okay, this is the lumen of seminal vesicles, and seminal vesicle resembles like that of a coiled duct-like structure. तो जब इसका क्रॉस सेक्शन काटेंगे तो अंदर का जो ये कैविटी आएगा नजर, दिस इज द कैविटी, इसको लीमन बोलते हैं. इट इज सराउंडेड फ्रॉम ऑल साइड्स बाय pseudostratified columnar epithelium. ये देखो, ये जो ब्लूइश कलर है, दे आर ऑल pseudostratified columnar epithelium. They are all pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Now, this is also a section of seminal vesicles. Okay, this is also a section of seminal vesicles. You can see this is the lumen, and this lumen is surrounded from all sides by pseudostratified transitional epithelium. Okay, ये जो भी bluish color का part है, they are all pseudostratified transitional epithelium, and this is the lumen. और ये जो pinkish color का part है बीच बीच में, they are all smooth muscles. They are all smooth muscles. Now this is bulbourethral gland. It is located on either side of the urethra in the urogenital diaphragm below the prostate nares. So the location of bulbourethral gland is on either side of the urethra. It consists of mucus secreting glands surrounded by bulbocavernosus muscles and draining via duct. Okay, so bulbourethral gland is located on either side of the urethra. It consists of mucus secreting glands which are surrounded by muscles known as bulbocavernosus muscles. The epithelial lining is made up of transitional epithelium. The epithelial lining is made up of transitional epithelium. Now you see, so this is the duct of bulbourethral gland. It is surrounded from all sides by epithelium, which is transitional epithelium. Okay, see यहाँ पर भी देखो, ये है duct, ठीक है, और ये चारों बगल जो सराउंड किया रहता है, दिस इज ट्रांजिशनल एपिथेलियम. ट्रांजिशनल एपिथेलियम को पहचानने का क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर है, ये डिफरेंट शेप रहेगा, कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड में रहेगा, कोई एलिवेटेड में रहेगा, और उसका जो बॉर्डर होगा, एपेक्स होगा, इट विल बी जस्ट लाइक अम्ब्रेला शेप बॉर्डर होगा. ठीक है, तो ये डक्ट है bulbourethral ग्लैंड का, चारों बगल इट इज सराउंडेड बाय एपिथेलियम व्हिच इज नोन एज ट्रांजिशनल एपिथेलियम. ये देखो, इसका मैग्नीफाइड व्यू है. ठीक है, ये डक्ट है bulbourethral ग्लैंड का, ये कैविटी जिसको बोलेंगे, ये कैविटी को चारों बगल से ये सराउंड किया गया है एपिथेलियम, दिस इज ट्रांजिशनल एपिथेलियम. ये जो है, तो अब ये भी देखो, ये भी डिफरेंट लोब्स में बटा हुआ है. ठीक है, एक लोब यहाँ दिखाई पड़ रहा है बड़ा सा, एक यहाँ लोब दिखाई पड़ रहा है. ठीक है, और दो लोब के बीच में ये कुछ स्मूथ मसल्स है चारों बगल से ना. तो ये bulbourethral ग्लैंड कहाँ पर सिचुएटेड होता है, तो नियर द यूरिथ्रा. एपिथेलियल लाइनिंग किस तरह का होता है इसका, तो इसका एपिथेलियल लाइनिंग ट्रांजिशनल एपिथेलियम होता है. इसका जो अंदर में ग्लैंड्स का सेक्रीशन होता है, उसका नेचर क्या होता है, तो म्यूकस सेक्रेटिंग. ठीक है, ये 3 पॉइंट तुमको याद रखना है bulbourethral ग्लैंड में. म्यूकस सेक्रेटिंग नेचर, situated near the urethra, and the epithelial lining is of transitional epithelium. ये देखो, ये लोब है, एक बड़ा सा लोब है, इसमें छोटा छोटा ये सब म्यूकस ग्लैंड है. ठीक है, छोटा छोटा इसमें म्यूकस ग्लैंड्स है, और वो म्यूकस ग्लैंड का एपिथेलियल लाइनिंग कैसा है, तो ट्रांजिशनल एपिथेलियम. ठीक है, तो कोई डाउट है किसी को, इसमें कुछ पूछना है, कोई कुछ पूछना चाहता है? Anyone who want to ask something? Okay. Anyone having some doubts you want to ask? Okay, so thank you. We can end the meeting here. Okay.